Yo, what up? The awkward beginning before everybody else comes in. My shop is actually still open right now, so I might it might be a little louder than last week. So I apologize for that in advance. Let me get Sharky in here. Boom. She's frozen. Here,
I
what up?
know. It's okay. It's disconnecting. That means it should be there.
There you are.
What's up, my friend? How are you this
What up?
evening?
Yo, it's a little earlier today, so I'm at a different spot in the shop. Hopefully everything's good. There might be a little louder than there's still people tattooing. We're still
I
open.
think it's going to be okay because Jacci is also going to be coming to us from the shop and they're tattooing there as well. And that is what's beautiful about this show. It's the fucking back room.
Yeah, it's the
You're
back
going to
room.
hear the machines.
But I'm actually not in the back room. What up, Jay?
You're like, not at all.
I'm kind of
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna redo our intros real quick because we missed out on it last week.
okay.
So you ready for that? Everybody, for those of us joining us live, for people who are going to be listening to this in the future, go ahead and grab your stogies, grab your booze, pack your bowl, and welcome to the back room. You're fucking here with your hosts with the most, Sharky and Rich Fi,
Got
the
a whole.
darling of Queens, New York, Rich Fi.
Love this
Sharky
intro.
holds it down in
We need
Texas.
we need theme music.
Oh, we need theme music. I'm clapping for us because we don't have a studio audience yet. So there it is.
People here.
And you know what? Why don't we take a second to just give a little history on ourselves, and then we're going to bring in our guest for tonight, which you guys are, I know you're excited for.
Cool.
You
Want me to
go
go
first, Richie.
I'll go
Yes.
first.
See
I'm
you
Rich
first.
Fry. I'm from Queens. I do tattoos for about 20 years, and I own and operate R&D Tattooing.
Yes. And can you tell the folks some of your mentors, some of the people who have broken you in and helped you through your journey?
Sure. I was broken in by Rob Freud and Dave Mowers here at R&D Tattoo. I have that, like we talked about it last week a little bit. I got that story where it's like I own the shop now that I apprenticed at, so it's a pretty rare occurrence.
Special.
I worked for Itchy Montgomery for a while. I worked for Tony Polito for a while, so those guys really helped me out. And as you know, because you worked there, Peachy Quinto was a big mentor to me. He was like, the king of Queens tattoo and undisputed.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yes.
Even when I was like 13, 14 years old, like we would hear about Pete, and that's who we wanted to get next to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am Sharky, originally from New Jersey, worked in New York City. I was broken in by John Farrig of Inner City Tattooing, which was like a sister shop to Ron Lopez's shop. I worked, like Rich said, actually, I worked for John, and then I went on the road for a while to kind of continue my traditional tattooing history lineage. And I worked out there with Vivine Lazanga. I did some guest spots with Gilmani, Chu Garcia. And then Rich Fi, with his ears to the streets, he caught a hold of what I was doing and was like, stop. If you want a real traditional tattoo upbringing, bring your ass back here to New York City and we'll get you in there with Kubo and Pete. And it was, it forever changed my life.
You make me sound way more important than I was in that.
You are. You're not giving yourself any credit. That's fine. You don't have to. I'll do it for you.
Cool. Thanks,
You're the string that pulls the hands in the background. But that's what this show is about. It's about bringing together these traditional tattoo lineages to make a more complete story for people who may not understand that. Because, we're gatekeepers. We don't always tell everybody everything that's going on. But we need to introduce you to some important people, like tonight's guest, who is easily one of the most important historical figures in tattooing today. She was the first Black tattooer in America, the first Black female tattooer in America, the first Black tattooer to own their own shop and has been holding it down in the same city for like 50 years. It's unheard of. Folks, we got Jacci Gresham on the line, and if you, Rich, would do us the honors,
I'm gonna do this now. Entertain a little bit more while I track this down.
I could do it. I could juggle. But yeah, we got Jacci in the room. I can't recall how I met Jacci, but I finally went down to visit her at her shop while I was hanging out with Gilmani in 2017. He lived like a couple of blocks away from her. So while we were at his house just being nuts and painting and tattooing, it was like all you have to do is go down the street and meet Jacci. And it was changed my life forever. Look, that is the inside of Art Accents. Folks, give it up. Jacci Gresham, you made it.
I can't believe it.
You made it. So what we're gonna do is just have Erica. You can just like get that cam steady. Just sit it somewhere, wherever you want to.
I'm wondering, it might be easier if I put it up here. Is that better?
Yep, I can see and hear both of you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yes.
I have it on a little sticky thing. I hope it doesn't fall, but I'll pick it up if it does. And put it back in.
Yes. Jacci,
Okay.
welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us tonight. And Erica,
Thank you for asking me, and I don't know why, but if you want me, you got me.
we got you.
Right.
So we're just gonna do a check. Does everybody have their libation?
The shop is still
yeah.
open. I'm drinking seltzer.
Ooh.
The screen's freezing up a little on this end, but I can still hear the audio.
Yeah, it's okay because it's actually not freezing. It just sounds like that, but we can hear it continuously. So you just respond normally.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it freezes on my side, that because I'm running it, then I'll be able to tell it's frozen. Otherwise, when we record it, it'll come through.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Beautiful. So Jacci, where do we start with your story? Where do we start with the little girl from Flint, Michigan? How do we even start the story, Jacci?
Well, I think the story probably starts in Detroit, Michigan, because that's where I really kind of recognized tattooing more. I think it was about 71, 72. Before I never really paid too much attention to tattoos. But Bill Polk opened up a spot in Ferndale, Michigan, and it was called a trading post. Little hippie joint, little booths everywhere. And that's actually where I did my first tattoo. Right there.
In Detroit.
In Detroit.
What was it?
Please. Let me get it straight. I'm 74. You think I can remember? I can't remember yesterday. Well, I remember them made me work yesterday. I
I'm
actually
wishing.
I'm in shock still, But I can't. It was something little. I don't really remember what I did. But it was, back then when you tattoo, especially women, it was teeny tiny stuff. Like a rosebud, a half butterfly, stuff like that.
Right.
You didn't do anything too big ever. How I remember it.
And back then, would it be if you were a woman tattooing, you would get more women clients than men clients?
No. You always got more men clients than you got women clients, as I remember.
Right.
I mean, back then we did a lot of bike clubs, and mostly I think bike clubs around 72 and stuff like that. When you did women, it was like a hippie chick or something like that. It was a little rebel.
It had to be a wild child to get.
It was a wild child,
then,
right?
But, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, Jacci, real quick, and Erica, you can help out if you're there. Erica, if you're not.
Hi, I'm right here.
Yes, Erica, can you turn down your phone a hair? Because I think we're getting a little feedback.
Is this better?
That is, yes.
That's better. Much better.
Erica is the engineer. Can you imagine?
Pretty bad technology. We hear you a little less on this end, but can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you good? As long as you good.
Yeah, we need an engineer.
Okay. We do.
But this is better?
It's a lot better. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to make
the
ourselves
sound,
hear
and
you.
the further away you are, the more we hear you.
You're really kind of light right now. Can we turn up just a hair?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe if we scoot back, then
Yes.
it might make it better.
Okay. How about that? Is that
Perfect.
better?
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, and we can hear you.
Good.
Beautiful.
We're in business. We're in business.
So, Jackie, we always like to ask everybody this one question, and there's no right answer, but what does traditional tattooing mean to you? When someone asks you to define it.
If I was defining traditional tattoos, I would define it more from tattoos from the 50s, 60s, you know, real clean cut, a simplified tattoo more so than what you see today. How I would define it.
Okay.
Am I right or wrong?
There's no wrong answer.
You know, but what I remember when I came along in the mid 70s, the tattoos started getting more detailed. You know, they weren't as simple. You know, they're becoming more artistic. Not the traditional tattoos aren't artistic, because they are, but it's a different kind of artistic. Let us say that.
Yes.
Did you do stuff, mostly custom stuff, or were you drawing stuff? Were you
Are you
using
kidding? No, no. Let me tell you, yesterday I was complaining because I was just supposed to be, you know, the backup, because everybody's doing appointments here, and I'm so old school, I'm thinking, well, you don't want to miss your walk-in. You know you don't want to miss your walk-in. Well, anyway, yesterday I got over that because everything you do now, it seems like you have to draw something up. People don't, in this shop, people don't come and pick out a flash. They bring their phone and they combine tattoos. So I feel like I spend more time drawing than I actually did tattooing yesterday. You know, and I hadn't tattooed in a year, you know. So it was like, oh God, this is exhausting. I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Getting hot in here.
Yeah, I thought I was just going to be doing little lick sticker tattoos, you know, a name or infinity signs, or stuff that people get that they just want they just want to have a tattoo, you know. But it didn't work out like that. I had to work. I did tribal. Some what did I do? Chrysanthemum stuff. I had to draw on this because I draw. I try.
Yeah.
Always draw. I don't really use. I reference with the computer, but I draw from the computer. I don't print stuff up and paste it together or any of that. I really try to draw because I think it's good for you. You know.
Yeah. And so yesterday was the first day in a year you tattooed?
Yesterday's the first day in a year.
So we got you fresh off the presses.
You got me crazy is what you got.
Yeah.
You got me pretty fresh. I mean, you know, tattooing this thing, you got to have your equipment right, period. And I was having a little difficulty with my equipment, but the tattoo still came out fairly well, you know.
Great.
So, yes, once you've been doing it as long as I've been doing it, you can do a basic tattoo. You know, some kid came in earlier and he wanted like a portrait. Well, hell, I hadn't done it in 20 years. I wasn't about to practice on him with that. You know, it was grandmother when she was young. So I sent him to my competition down the street. That's the best I could do, because I couldn't do it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's why
you
got all the young
want
kids working there now. They could do that.
Well, they weren't enough of them working here yesterday. That's why I came to work. There was 2 of them, and they had appointments. You know, and I think I can see where the appointments have their good points. You know what I mean? With the appointments, you have less confusion, you have less arguing. People seem to appreciate the tattoo more. Whereas when you're a street shop, I mean, half the time I'm turning people away because they don't want to pay the minimum. You know, stuff like that. And you know, as an example, let me give you an example. I tattooed a guy 30 years ago. And I did a Grim Reaper on him, and he allegedly loves me to death, right? So he brought his wife in. He wants a yin yang that's 4 or 5 inches long with his 4 kids' names in it. And I told him $200, and he was freaking out. And he's like an underwater welder. You want that money?
So an infinity symbol.
That was the infinity symbol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but people don't appreciate the permanency of a tattoo. That they hear, that they want to pay you for that. And of course, I don't understand it. But that's one of the battles you have when you get a street shop.
Right.
Especially a street shop in New Orleans. Like, I have been in there and seen the people. I mean, they haggle you to no fucking end.
Yes, they do.
There's no stopping it. And they're all drunk. They're all partied out.
Whoa.
I don't know how you guys deal with that level of clientele day in, day out.
Because you're in New Orleans. If you say no drinking, you have, well, now really it's not so bad. Back in the day, I would say in the 80s and 90s, if you said no drinking, you'd have no clients. I mean, we got daiquiri shops where you drive through and get a drink. What do you think?
How bad has it been affected with COVID, with the New Orleans? I would suspect is there's not as many tourists, and is it coming back?
It's coming back. People want to see New Orleans, but the virus was killing us for a while. I mean, mainly because the bars half the time the bars haven't been open, but then the bars are closing at 11 o'clock. I mean, you're used to, in New Orleans, you're used to going out at 11 o'clock and coming home at 6 or 7 in the morning. So it makes a difference. The shop on the weekend was open till 2 o'clock. I mean, you people aren't used to 2 o'clock. You usually, most people, other places I've been, they close their shops 8 or 10 o'clock, you know?
Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna adjust my phone because
Okay.
it's falling real quick. I'm just gonna re-stick the
okay.
There it is.
But I imagine, there you go.
Okay.
I imagine New Orleans is kind of like Las Vegas. It's a party town. So you got people rolling all night. Some of the shops here stay open all night. I do not. But I have stayed open till.
I was about to say,
back in the
I
day.
heard legend that you guys would stay open 24 hours a day sometimes during like a Friday the 13th, and people would sleep in the shop. Did that happen?
No, I don't remember that. Friday the 13th ain't special for me because I'm not going to do those $13 tattoos
Boom.
for a $7 tip. I'm not doing it.
The record is set straight. It never happened.
Not in my shop because it's too stressful. But I will give you a comparison. In the, I believe it was in the 90s, we would do a name day, and we would do $15, $20, and $30 names. And people, I have a machine where you take a number. So you know I'm over it now. I've got I'm doing that. I ain't doing too much of nothing.
I
Don't
love
believe
it.
that.
It makes me feel so
But not
justified in
necessarily.
the way I feel.
You know?
Oh my. So let's kind of take a step back again. And I mean, I want to talk about two things. I'd love to hear kind of about that story about how you got broken in and how, you know, Allie got you into tattooing. Because I think were you working in a factory before you started tattooing?
Oh, baby, I've never worked in a factory.
What did you do before you started tattooing?
I was always in the office. I was a person drawing floor plans for dealerships and stuff like that. What I used to do.
There it is.
Or American Standards, doing plumbing or something like just the floor plans for that, you know, the piping layouts and stuff like that. But I actually have never worked in a factory. My dad did.
Okay.
I've always worked in an office somewhere.
And then how did it go
Here's
with
the
you
story.
actually deciding to get in, like, that transition of you being taught to tattoo? Like, did he
How I got caught up with tattooing was I had met Ollie,
Yeah.
and he was from England, and he tattooed with blonde actors over there in Portsmouth. And we both got laid off. I believe it was in 68 or 69. And when I met him, we moved in together. And this guy, he was drawing like eagles and stuff on the sidewalk, and I didn't get it until he told me he tattooed. And then when Bill Polk, he was the first in Detroit that I know of that did the tattoo thing. So when Bill Polk got actually Ollie working with him because he was looking for tattoo artists and they didn't have any. So that's basically how I got tied up with actually those two, you know. And you know who Bill Polk is, right?
Yes.
Okay, he's a tattoo school guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, but I knew him before all of that.
Now, when you were a little kid, were you really interested in tattoos, or something that just came up out of the blue? Like when you were a little kid, like I know me and Sharky have talked before. Like we were pretty obsessed pretty early.
I wasn't obsessed at all, but I was intrigued because there was a bar. My driveway and another driveway ran into each other, and there was a bar, and it was like a white bar. We were the first black family on the block, right? So anyway, I'd be sitting there making my mud pies and all that good stuff, and you see these white guys come out drunk, and they would have these tattoos. It's the first time I ever remember seeing a tattoo. That was about 5, 6, something like that.
That is so cool.
But I mean, the first time I was somewhat intrigued is when I saw Ollie drawing these. They were really tattoo designs. I didn't know what they were, but he would draw these eagles and stuff like that on the sidewalk. And, you know, he had a daughter, and she'd be playing hopscotch, and he'd be drawing these different symbols, and they were all tattoo symbols. Come to find out later.
That is
I mean, how many grown men you see drawing designs on the sidewalk?
True.
You know, so that was my first, basically, introduction to tattoos, in all honesty.
And then and you stayed in Michigan for how long?
I stayed in Michigan until I was 29. I came down here when I was 29. So I was in probably Flint till I was 20, and then I lived in Detroit for another 10 years or 9 years.
And
then we moved to New Orleans because we had taken a trip, and New Orleans had only had 2 tattoo shops in '76, so that's why we moved here.
Did you have any issues opening up the shop with the other shops there? Like, did you have any like turf battles?
Well, we had a little issue, but we seemed to have made it. But there was an old guy here, he didn't give you a problem. But then the other guy, he was a member of Hell's Angels and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a little bit of an issue, but it wasn't as bad as people say. You know, they didn't throw bricks through the window or anything, but they weren't happy with it being here. And I don't think they thought we were going to make it because I was a black woman in here working, and the South is really prejudiced. I mean, it might be getting over it now, but it took a while. You know what I mean? It's really prejudiced down here compared to being in Detroit in the mid '70s.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, you may get this question all the time, but I'm just so curious about it. You know, what was that like being in that space? You know, because you see these pictures of you at NTA conventions and you're dressed to the nine and you look badass. And you looked as badass as you could be, but you were just surrounded by white people. There was no other black person there. What was that like? Did you know you were the shit and you were like, you know, these people figured it out later, or were people trying to knock you down?
I think what the deal was is there's always going to be people who like you, you know, a few. And there's going to be the ones who don't like you. But the ones that are, I don't want to say more educated or whatever, but a little more open-minded, I didn't think I had a problem with. I mean, I met people like Bob Roberts and Jack Rudy. I mean, they were pretty much open-minded. But, I mean, a lot of the people are just, they were from a biker background, big time, you know. And so, you know, back then, even white women are supposed to be seen and not heard back then. So I guess I was pretty much a pistol back then because I'm always got something to say.
You are heard.
You heard.
You know, so, and then again, in the 80s, what I was trying to do was to bring fashion into tattoos, because I would show off the tattoos that I had, but I would go in there with like different outfits that they had never seen before, because all the girls were still wearing jeans and leather jackets. But you know, now I see it's catching on. What, 40 years later, but it's catching on. That's good, huh?
It's good.
You were Back to the Future. You were Arnold Schwarzenegger. You were teaching them the way. You were from the future. You saw it before it was going to be cool.
Well, I always thought that, I mean, you could look nice. You know, I always wear dresses anyway. Even fat, I wear dresses. But I always thought that the tattoos enhance your body. I mean, my logo was "Look Better Naked," and I terrorize so many people with that because I have it on my car, and then when I jump out, I had a guy just bust out laughing. At 74, I don't care what you like. If you laugh at me, I got your attention. I did what I was supposed to do.
Damn straight.
You know?
Yeah,
So that's that.
Back then you had to grab attention, grab headlines a little bit more. It's not like today where you can put a tattoo on Main Street and then just go. Back then you had to really like show and prove. You know what I mean?
Well, I always get attention. I got away. We were the first. We were the first in the city to label up the cars, you know, with tattooing and all that kind of stuff. And then I bought a billboard up until the virus adventure. I had a billboard that said "Look Better Naked" on it for about 4 years. A whole billboard. And that billboard wasn't for me per se. I believe it was for the industry of tattooing because it caught people's eyes.
Yeah.
You know? So I want people to treat tattooing as an art form, personal art form. And hopefully that's coming about.
I think it definitely is. And, you know, I think that your collection of tattoos that you have speaks to that thought where it's all an art form, because you got Rudy tattoos, you got a Hardy tattoo, you got Rogers tattoos, like in their heyday. Can you just give us briefly any story you like? You can pick. Just what was it like being in those spaces, hanging out, especially a guy like Rudy or Rogers, being in that space, being a young Black woman, getting this work done by these guys. Did you realize who they were then, or get that?
Of course, I realized I'm referencing. You know, what I don't get about tattoo artists is the fact that a lot of times they'll get work from other artists in the shop. Well, I did not do that. What I did is the people that I saw at the time, I thought they were really good artists. I flew to Jacci Gorman. That's the Jacci Gorman piece. I just flew by. I can't think of his name. He was a gay artist, and I got word from everybody. I thought they were good, and I flew all over the country. I actually did not start getting tattoos from people in my shop until I had trained them, and I do have tattoos from people in my whole left leg is done by people that I basically trained. So. And I felt they were good enough to go on me. But when I see tattoo shows, I see extremely talented people. But the work on them is like, oh my God, why did you do that? Because their friend did it for them, or it was free. I don't get that. I don't need free. I'm stuck with whatever I'm getting them into that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There used to be a whole saying in the tattoo shop, like, go to the guy with the shittiest tattoos. Because the guy with the good tattoos, he did, and you got the shitty, you know what I mean? So you go to the guy with the shitty tattoos because he was the one who did the good ones.
He did the good ones every time.
Yeah. I see it when I was watching the tattoo shows on TV, Very impressive art, but their work, oh my God.
What do you think about the tattoo TV shows?
Let me tell you, I'll give you a story on that.
Go for it.
I think that people who are running those shows ought to charge people for those tattoos, because I went to tattoo a guy and he was giving me a lot of lip about the fact that the tattoos on the show are free. But they shouldn't be free. They should have a fee for that, because those people are really talented. You know what I mean? So, when I think about it, I don't think that it really did the industry a lot of good, because people think that tattoos should be cheap. That's what I think,
Right.
is my experience.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a really strange idea about the value of a tattoo right now. And people just thinking that what you're asking for is outrageous. When really, I mean, when I think about it, you're not even just buying the tattoo, you're buying my time, like a piece of my life. And time is one of those things that we don't know how much of it we have. So you need to pay a pretty price to have this special piece. So yeah, you nailed that.
And it is, they're wearing this stuff for life. And let me say this, what I have found now, especially with women getting into tattoos, women, no offense, men, but women are so particular. You really get your money's worth. You know what I'm saying? And I did say that. But I mean, because it's such a large amount of women that are in the field. And I came in basically when it was all male business, you know, and what I saw then, the people just wanted to, it was a lick 'em stick 'em thing. You picked it off the wall and you got exactly that. And see,
Yeah.
I think I did help change that, because I thought it was important that every tattoo be somewhat customized for the individual. It doesn't have to be much, just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, that's the stuff that makes them feel special, and it makes everybody, you know, we saying, oh, you know, I'm gonna put that special kind of red in you. I got the good stuff back here. Or you're gonna put those little tiny bells and whistles that you put on a tattoo can make a walk-in a lifetime client.
Correct. I got people who I tattooed 30, 40 years ago, and there's a reason to the thing. But the kicker to this story is I'm not the same person I was 30, 40 years. I'm old. You know?
You're still young to us.
Yeah. Now, what is the proper pronunciation of the city you live in? That's what I really need to know. Because I'm
New
a fat kid
Orleans,
from New York.
New Orleans.
New Orleans?
Uh-huh.
New Orleans?
Yeah, Rich, what did you think?
I said that
Could you say?
They're like, no, that's not it. And they said it in a different way that has flow to it. I always fuck up that town name. But I love
Wait,
it.
how do you say it, Rich?
I say New Orleans.
Oh!
Yeah, I mean, but you got to remember, I'm from the north, so I may not be saying it the way people say it here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe we're all saying it wrong, but that was, you had a little, there was a little oomph in that, Rich.
I'm from Queens, New York. That's how
You
we
should have a
talk.
hyphen in it.
Yeah, like you sound like you're from New York, you know?
I say everything like I'm from New York, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know.
Right, exactly. But let me tell you, I'm grateful for any American accent these days.
You don't hear a lot anymore. We were talking last week about how the regional styles of tattooing are changing, but also the regional talk. You know what I mean? Because of the internet, the internet made the world so small. You meet young kids that are 21 years old now, and they could be from Brooklyn their whole life, and they sound like they're just, I don't know, just like from TV or something.
People don't have the accents they used to have, like when I was growing up. And to be honest with you, I really begin to appreciate it now, because there's so many foreign people with accents that are kicking my ass, because I'm dealing with them something negative, like I'm complaining about something, but I don't understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? So I'm real happy for any kind of American accent, to be honest with you.
And they say in Michigan, they say Detroit, right? It's not Detroit. Like I say Detroit.
That's right. That's right.
Detroit. You got it, the hard D.
Hard. That's a hard D.
Yeah. I know you from Detroit, and that's how he said it. I say Detroit. He's like, nah, Detroit.
That's the real way to say it. Yes.
I'm gonna start saying it like that now, so I can have some street cred. You
Yeah.
put me on.
Exactly.
I want to say it.
Oh shit. So Jackie, I ride bikes. I'm fascinated with bikes. I love bikes, and there's a lot of pictures of you and evidence of you on bikes, in hot shorts, with Rottweilers. I seen some shit. Were you riding those bikes, or were you just around so many bikers that that's just what ends up happening? You're just taking pictures of the bikes.
Let me say this. I know how to ride a bike, but
Okay.
no, I was not. Back then, women did not ride bikes like you see them today. But I do know how to ride a motorcycle. I
You
do.
don't need to know how to ride it. That's fine.
You know, but I was riding behind different people. I was so crazy. Let me tell you how crazy I was. We used to have them hot chicks, and I would ride a motorcycle with a dress on going down the West Bank Expressway. Let me tell you,
Jackie, I
you should
know
be
for
on
a
that to
fact.
be a hot mess. And it's a memory. That's all I can tell you.
I know that for a fact. There's some guy out
I
there
know you
somewhere
do.
who remembers that, who was driving behind that situation, who thinks about that every day.
You know, but I mean, it was a good time. You know, it was fun riding bikes then. You know, the closest thing I'm dealing with a bike now is I got a convertible. That's as good as it's gonna get for now.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I've never been on a bike in my life. Never even sat on one. Cadillacs only. It's New York City.
Well, I understand that.
Richie, what if Cadillac started making crazy motorcycles? Would that change your mind?
I ain't fucking with no motorcycle. That shit's scary.
Fair.
I went to a bike meeting once. I'm not even gonna tell a story because bikers get mad at me. But yeah.
It's a no for Rich Pie. Rich Pie's not gonna get on the bike.
I'm not getting no motorcycle.
I just had a chance to buy a 1950s Cadillac, and I decided not to because I got too much stuff now. But that's a beautiful vehicle.
It's perfect.
I like all the antiques, the classics.
You roll it up in the shop and that, park it right in the front. Perfect. It draws attention. I always when I had the old Cadillacs, I always park them. Even though it's a parking meter in front of the shop. When I had the old Cadillacs, I'd always park it right in front. It's attention grab.
It's attention grabbing, right?
Yeah. And that's a real old school vibe, like tricking yourself out, tricking out your car, and parking that shit directly in front of the shop. Sometimes the shop name is like written on the car. That's a real cool old school vibe. People don't do that anymore.
You need it. I mean, I need to do that shit. I ain't that good of a tattooer. I gotta have a lot of flash. You know what I mean?
That is a lie. That's not true.
But you know, got it?
Yeah, I was keeping it from falling. Sometimes it loosens the
Yeah,
grip.
it's slipping down, but even when it slips down, we still hear you great.
Okay.
You know, we were talking today. You have artists that are really great artists, great, but they don't have a personality. They're not enthusiastic about what they're doing. And I believe your customer feels that. You know what I'm saying? And then I might have a mediocre artist that's got the personality to die for, and he's got repeat this one after the other. You know? And I had to say that because one of the guys that was here, great artist, no personality. You gotta have this personality when you're dealing with people. You gotta talk to your client, at least some. You know, when I'm just, oh God, some of the people, I was tattooing this girl yesterday. Her mom signed for her, she's 16-year-old. I could relate to the mother. I had no problem with that. But the daughter, it was a little more difficult, but it doesn't matter. You have got to relate to, you got to talk to your client about something, even if even if I refer to them as their grandmother, then they get it, you know?
Yeah.
So you go that route, but you want to show an interest in your client, right? Am I right?
Of course. And you want to be, a lot of time, I mean, especially now when everybody can do good tattoos, there's a thing where like the person wants to get tattooed by somebody they like. I mean, it's the worst thing. You don't want to have a tattoo from a person that you hate. You know what I mean? Even if it's a mediocre tattoo from a real good person, it's better than having a real good tattoo from a mediocre person, in my book.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And people, I don't understand. They don't see it. They don't understand. When you walk through your shop door, you're really a different person. You know, you're not, whatever problem you had outside that door, you leave it out that door. People don't want to hear your problem. They're
Yep.
coming in there for a special feeling of getting the tattoo they want, and they don't want to hear your problem. You see what I'm saying? Because when people are having a bad day, I tell them, don't come to work. That's what I tell them. Don't come to work. If it's that bad, don't come to work.
Yeah.
You know,
You got to be there putting on the show. You know, that's all.
you got to put on the show. Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, I mean, in ancient societies, you know, the tattooer is like the priest or the priestess, and people want healing from you, and that's all they want to see. You don't want to go to church and see your priest crying. Like, you're supposed to have your shit together. People are going to come and lay it on you, even if it's not together. You just put it on, act together, have a good time. They attach those memories to their tattoo. That's why what you guys are saying means, so when you have, even if I have tattoos that like aren't that great, but the person who did it was so fucking funny and we had such a good time that the tattoo to me, I don't care what anybody thinks about it, I love it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
100%. And you have the reason why it's so fucked up when people do like fucked up things for their clients is because we're putting them in a submissive situation. You know what I mean? So we're putting them in a submissive situation. So, you know, they're going to spill their guts. They're going to do all these different things. So if you're in a bad headspace, you have to be like, you got to put on a show. You always got to put on the show.
Because it transfers right in.
It's part of the Like, I don't get like these motherfuckers that put, excuse my language, I don't get these people that put these headphones in their ears and the client's got the headphones in their ears and they just start tattooing. That shit's whack.
I agree. I've seen it happen.
I agree. You got to do better than that.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get,
because you want that personal, the tattoo is a personal touch, you know? So you lose it if you're sitting there with these headphones. I mean, some people do that, but that ain't what we used to do at all. Never.
No,
Yeah.
you're taking, you know, you're taking the whole magic out of the equation, everything,
right?
You know.
Yeah, I don't get it. The person who puts the headphones on while they're tattooing is the person who also shows up to the convention just to win a trophy. I find that those two people are usually the same. And that's not to knock everybody who wears headphones when they're tattooing, but like it disconnects you from the client and you're just looking at the fucking tattoo. And that's just not what it's about. It's just not.
No, I literally is. Sorry?
No, I said, well, to me it really wouldn't be, but you know, times are changing. I get that part, but it just seems like there's a better way. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. When I get out to a convention, like I'm really trying to make my money back and then hang out. You know what I mean? Like I know I spent X amount of dollars on this, the gas and the hotel and this. Like I got to do these 3 tattoos. I make my money back, and then I'm hanging out with my friends. That's why I could be busy at my own tattoo shop. Like I don't really need to go to Philadelphia to be busy. I can be busy right here in Queens. So that's just to pick up some of the magic that's from other artists, get everything. You know what I mean? Like that's all to me conventions is about is gaining some of that oomph. I have a bad vocabulary, so I use words like oomph.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Rich Spy at a convention before, but this motherfucker will like show up on like the second day with a bat, like a whole thing of machines and fucking flash. He's like, "What's up? What's up? What's up?" And then a few hours later, the bag of flash is empty, all the machines are sold, and he's just sitting in a booth with Tony Polito hanging out all night. And you're like, wait, while I'm sitting in a booth trying to do infinity symbols for like fucking 30 hours, this fucking guy, I've never seen anybody work a convention like Rich Spy.
I do it all in slippers. And remind the people that I do it all in slippers. I got house shoes on the whole time. I'm rest. Shit.
Jackie, what was the last convention you did?
The last one I attended, I believe, was here in New Orleans. I think it was a couple years ago.
Okay.
And I did the Lyle Tuttle thing. Cause weren't you there in San Francisco? That wasn't a convention, though.
No, that wasn't a convention, but yeah, we were there. That was the last time
No,
I saw you. That was 2 years ago because he passed
2
in
years ago.
2019.
Maybe, because
Yeah,
I
because
went
I
to
had my embolism in 18, so he passed in 19.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh,
And you
Jackie,
were at that Nationals convention. Remember the Nationals convention when I guess it was the last year they were
I cannot
having
ever
their
forget the
convention.
national convention.
You were babysitting Lyle Tuttle, in my opinion. You had your work
Maybe.
cut out for you that day, that night, that whole convention.
What I will say to that is that drinking with me at a bar is dangerous. And Lyle found out that day how dangerous it could be. Because by the time we showed up to that party that night, we were lit. We were lit.
Well, Lyle Tuttle could drink. My God, he was an interesting person.
He kept up. What I will say is he kept up with me, toe to toe, for as long
I
as he
saw
could.
that.
He really did.
I was sitting on the other side of the sofa while I was watching you guys, and I watched you. I think you participate, that's for sure.
Yeah, he loved his tequila, and tequila is the death knell. You got to drink whiskey. That's the trick. Is you just got to drink whiskey. That's it.
I'm drinking my wine, and I'm not drinking nothing else.
Or wine.
Beer is it for me. I don't want to turn into a pirate.
But
Yeah.
so that was good that you mentioned that NTA convention because that was, arguably the last one that ever occurred. When did you join the NTA?
I think my number is under 300.
Oh, damn. Did you have to have a sponsor back then to get in?
I think I did. But I think Ollie was my sponsor.
Yeah, okay.
Back then, you had to have sponsors. You couldn't get equipment or nothing.
Yeah.
Unless you had a sponsor.
Yeah.
Back then, it was so secretive, to say the least. I really think when the Chinese got in this, it busted it wide open. Is what I've seen,
Yeah.
Because, what's the name of that people out in California and over there? I mean, because anybody could buy equipment, I mean, I just had a guy tell me what I've asked for a tattoo because his son's got 6 machines at home.
Oh, well, are you talking about Wes?
No.
Doesn't they have another? Oh, no, they have another spot out in Texas, not California.
I'm talking about Cam. Remember Cam was one of the first to get out? And I mean, they just blew it all up. And, you could get 20 tubes for $100. Good ones, too. But they kind of went public with it. And before, it was just pretty secretive. If you didn't know someone, you couldn't get in. Was that like that for you guys? Especially you. You've been doing this 20 years, right?
Yeah. When I first started, I definitely made my own needles and everything like that. It wasn't as difficult to get everything. But yeah, maybe like 15 years, pretty early on in my, maybe like 5 years in, like 15 years ago, it broke wide open. And then Amazon really changed. Amazon, you can buy,
big time.
Anybody can buy anything on Amazon. Every day somebody tells me that they just bought their cousin a tattoo machine. Can I help them? I'm like, yeah.
Well, what's really the slap in the face is Walmart's the same. You can buy tattoo equipment from Walmart.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, Walmart. Get yourself a tattoo machine, a gun, and some camping gear. Set.
Yeah, all in the same scroll.
That really was a big, I think, change in everybody getting involved. And, you didn't really, you had to like sit there and, you had to kind of like kiss somebody's ass and try to figure out. I mean, luckily I have led a very blessed life in tattooing. So I'm not going to say that I was like kissing anybody's ass, but you did have to like suck up a little bit and get tattooed 100 times and, then maybe approach the idea of,
Right. Generally, our apprentices really had good personalities and they drew a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, we trained, this one guy, Mike, and he was a biker, and he wasn't no superstar artist at all, but personality, my God, And so you open the doors to people you can trust more so than the talent.
Right. There's a little bit of a
That's how
tough
I
streak
think
out
it
here in New
goes.
York City. There's a little bit. You had to have a little bit of a tough streak because it got a little rowdy in here at times. So it was like, I had to like kind of prove that I could tattoo, but also that people weren't going to walk on me. You know what I mean? That was a big.
Right.
The street was a big part.
Yeah. So we got a couple of more questions we're going to go through. Me and Rich are going to go through with you. And then, Jacci, what we're going to do is turn inward and answer some questions from the viewers. Annette's on here right now, and she's been asking a couple of questions, so we're going to get to her.
Don't answer any of her questions.
So I'm going to ask a question that I've just kind of been dealing with, or not dealing with, but observing in the Black tattoo community specifically. There's a lot of really wonderfully talented Black tattooers out there who feel like it's not really important to take a step back and reflect on or have anything to do with traditional tattooing because they feel like its roots are based in racism, which is not wrong, but it's not a whole truth. What would you say to these young Black tattooers, us being two Black tattooers that are with our feet knee deep in this tradition? Do you think it's something that they could just ignore and move on, or do you think it's important that they take some time to learn about this to enhance their careers?
I think it's the latter. They should take some time to enhance their career. The tradition is your foundation. I think it's the roots, what I really think. People don't realize there's more to traditional tattooing than people think. All traditional tattoos are not the best, but there is a flair and an art to doing traditional tattoos. And people think, oh, it's so easy. Not necessarily. There's a way to do it. There is a way.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. It's good to hear it coming from you as well. I just think there's a lot of young tattooers that need to hear that because I think that, they're sheep in the field lost with no shepherd. We're here. You just got to come down to the shop and visit somebody. Go visit, people in your town. How long have you been in New Orleans now?
45 years.
45 years. Folks, you've got zero excuse. You need to go down and visit Jacci or visit whomever, because that's how you get a hold of this knowledge. You can't find it online. You can't find it in any show. You need to go spend time with these specific. Get tattooed by Jacci. Don't you dare fucking haggle the price with her. But go get tattooed by Jacci.
Well, I charge the same thing everybody else in my shop charges. I mean, I'm not trying to gouge anybody or anything like that. The people that are in Louisiana are ridiculous. I mean, they come in here and I got a poor person and she'll say, oh, we got this $80 minimum, which is cheap. And they'll say, oh, you mean for all four of us? Crazy stuff like that. And this is cost of living. You can't do that.
Yeah. That's wild that you're still dealing with that.
Oh, well, I have to take a break from it because it's ridiculous. Because I will tell somebody something. I'm not allowed to talk about people. They handles the floor, and I'm not allowed to speak when I come to work. Because I would run their ass out of here. You can believe that.
I believe it.
I believe it.
Oh, believe it.
Rich, you got any
and that's got Jacci's story. Some people with Jacci's stories, I don't even believe it myself, but when I think back, maybe they were right.
What'd you say, Sharky? I'm sorry.
I was saying, you have any other questions for Jacci before? Because right now I'm just going to ring the bell. We're at 54 minutes, so it means that we have been talking.
Okay, Annette asked me a question. Do you want me to answer it?
The only thing
Look at her. She's being messy. Annette.
She's
Don't
got
ever
also.
That's what I'm
smoke in
saying.
her
I'm like,
shop.
you need to get to
I
a
was
net.
thinking if
That's,
you
I'm
smoking,
trying
I'm
to
saying,
bring
oh my
you
God,
so
you
we can
smoking.
get to a net because I see
I'm
it.
smoking. I'm definitely smoking cigarettes in my shop right now.
I know
Not to
you
bring,
are.
not to bring up a bad
That's what I'm
subject.
saying. A net is messy. A net is messy. You know what I mean? And did you hear me say something until I read, don't ever smoke in her shop? That's how she got the job, is because she didn't smoke.
What were you saying, Rich?
I said not to bring up maybe bad memories, but how with the storm a few years, was it 10 years ago? How did you get through that?
15. Yeah.
How many years ago was that now?
15. 15.
And how did that affect you? I guess unfortunately, like when people hear New York City, they think of 9/11, and when people hear New Orleans, they think of that storm. How did they get through that?
Let me tell you, we were down for about 6 weeks, okay? And we were the first shop to open up with a generator illegally, all of that. Let me tell you, and back then I could actually walk. People be throwing out their refrigerators, and somebody's got like a video of me promoting my shop, drawing butterflies and eagles on refrigerators, saying, we're open, every shop's open, you know? But I mean, when I came along, that's all you did was do promotions. You just promote, you know, any way you can. Any way you can.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah,
Not really.
roll
I mean,
corn.
I do promote tattooing all the time, to say the least.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got a good room here. What's up, Pon? So I think it's probably a good time because honestly, Jackie, you're so much fun. We could talk to you for fucking ever. But let's try, and you can help me out, Rich, because I struggle with this. Go through some of these comments and try and answer some of our lovely viewer questions.
All right, well, let's go right to talking about Annette. So let's go to her question.
Word.
And it says to ask Jackie about the leather convention that you tattooed and pierced at in Chicago.
Oh man, was that a good time? I've never seen so many people get beat up in my life. Yeah, it was an S&M convention we went to. We flew up there. I think I had a good time. Let me tell you right now. That was it was a lot of fun up there. You know, I mean, I'd love to go to another one in all honesty, but we were dressed to the T, with the whole leather on, the whole bit. Yeah, I got a few memories. I wasn't always an angel.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do. Let's see what else.
I'm going to go look around.
Yeah, while you're looking, you know what, Jackie, I wanted to ask you. I saw that picture of that yellow van that you guys used to have. Did you guys go cross country? Was that, or was that just something you used to park?
Yeah. I brought that. I think I brought that down from Michigan, but I made it all the way to California with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're my hero, Jackie.
Yeah, I had a van.
She got details of that.
I got trucks with writing on them. Every vehicle I own promotes tattooing. Period. I'm not planning on robbing no bank. Why not? Right?
Hey, me neither. Thanks.
I mean, when I get out of my
Pirate
car, I
Slave
swear to
forever.
God, people bust out laughing because they're expecting a young kid, and they hear this old lady get out of there. You know? I don't care what they think. What are they doing for me other than investing? I hope they're investing in a tattoo. I could be happy with that.
Yeah,
You
they're
know?
not going to do anything. We're not that high up. They're not going to mess with us. Nobody, no.
Man, Annette is really throwing salt on this whole thing. I'm just
Yeah, I'm reading
I mean,
it, and I'm like, I'm not saying
girl.
that. I'm not saying that.
When she mentioned the smoking was messy.
She's saying when you first got there, you weren't wearing no gloves. She said she got details of the S&M place. Man, she's really throwing a lot of
She
salt.
does. We did all that. We did.
Well, here's what's going to happen, because we're connecting these. We're going to get Annette on the show in a couple of weeks, and we're just going to connect all the pieces. Because Annette,
All right.
you're ready. You are so ready So the
Let me tell you, that girl's doing a
stories make it
beautiful
true.
job promoting tattooing. I just saw the documentary that she did, and she allowed me to be in it, which I'm grateful. But, I mean, to me, she has become a badass woman, as far as I'm concerned. And
Oh,
I've watched her grow.
absolutely.
You know, because I met her, I believe it was in the early 90s. So it's been a while.
Yeah. We want all the wild babes on this show, just to show all these chicks now, like myself, that we didn't invent it at all. And really
No,
what we're
you
doing
didn't.
is just following a blueprint that you made a long, long time ago.
Yeah, and I can get the fat white dudes.
Hey,
I
we
know
got
fat
love for the fat white dudes. Oh my God, this has been so much fun. So, folks, it's 7 o'clock. That means it's been an hour. And I honestly can't believe how good we have been, Rich, for being on time with this show. We are usually terrible with clocks. We did a
do
great
not
job.
we have a tentative guest for next Monday at 9 o'clock, but he hasn't completely confirmed, so I'm not going to say.
Secrets.
But please, everybody that watches the show and everybody that, because a lot of people watch it after the fact, DM me or Sharky and tell us who you want to see on.
Yeah, we've got like a really good list. We've got a lot of other confirmed guests, but they're not going to be able to come on until, the summertime in the fall. So we're still filling in a lot of the gaps right now, but trust me, everybody that's on this show, we're all going to have a good time. We're all going to talk traditional tattoos. It's going to be the people that you love, the people we love, because traditional tattooing is a family. It's a big family with a lot of family branches. And a lot of that's getting lost in the fucking sauce. And Rich and I care way too much about tattooing to let it happen. So not on our watch. Jacci, would you like to leave the people with some special words?
No, not really. Keep doing what you're doing and do it the best you can. That's what I'm going to tell you.
I fucking love you so much. Everybody, Jacci Gresham is
Yes,
still working,
Jacci,
still
I want to come.
tattooing at
Frank
Art
will make it better
Accents
soon.
Tattooing in Louisiana. If you know what's good for you, you will get down there. Support her. Support her crew. Tell your friends, tell your family, get tattooed. Because Jacci has been working hard for a long time. She don't want to tattoo forever. Make her a millionaire so she can retire, folks. Come on.
That's right. That's right. And
What's wrong
if
with
I ever make another $5,
Yeah, right. I don't have sense enough to retire. Didn't you know?
Oh,
You
man,
know.
we feel that. Well, you know what? Love you guys.
So thank you for having me on.
Thank you. It was an honor, Jacci. Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging in the back room.
All righty.